Good morning, happy Sabbath, and welcome to the beautiful islands of the Philippines. I live on a very small portion. I am excited this week. You know me, I'm always excited, but my enthusiasm is a little bit overshadowed or a little on the side of, yeah, it was a sad week flying this week. This week, I transported three dead patients. One was my patient before, and the other two were possible patients, but just never survived the night. For me to be able to transport them to the hospital for medical care. I got a nice break this week. I was not as busy this week. Praise the Lord for that. And you know, I'm excited. Got some awesome stuff lined up for us for the report. Please, we encourage you to continue to share these videos. You know, we're in a pandemic. The whole world is having these hopeless days and nights and weeks and months. And I just hope that this video can be a little, I would say, a silver lining amidst this dark cloud of this corona pandemic. So we encourage you to give a thumbs up to these videos. Leave a comment below. If you don't know what to comment, here's a good comment. Where are you watching from, and how is the video being a blessing to you? That's a nice little comment. Your country, as simple as that. I'm watching from Texas. I'm watching from Canada. I'm watching from Jamaica. Just let me know where you're watching from. That's an easy comment to share. Also, we encourage you to go over to my YouTube channel, subscribe to the channel, enjoy those videos. If you like them, you can always share them with family and friends and those that you think you can can benefit from it. So without further ado, let's get straight into our report. So this week, I took the day off. I needed to get some stuff done. I've been trying for a week and a half to get some personal things done, and every time I would like close off my work and I decide to leave the airbase, my phone rings and there's some critical patient and I have to go, and then I spend the night out and it's just chaos. So I finally talked with my director and I said, can I get a day off? He said, okay, fine, I'll give you a day off. So even though I was on a day off, I still helped him out to arrange the flight, the paperwork, the passengers, etc. And I was privileged, you know, I don't get to drive my patrol much these days. So when I do get time to drive it, you know, it's always a blessing to use it to help with the missions here at the airport. When I'm not flying, because the requests, they were not coming in like crazy this week. Praise the Lord for that. I like to bond with my little FS 120. So if you ever come to the airbase looking for me, I'm not in my room enjoying the nice Wi-Fi or whatever, watching movies, etc. You will find me doing some dirty job outside around the hangar. So one thing I do enjoy doing is cutting the grass. We're getting a lot of rain mostly almost every afternoon and every night. We're getting a lot of rain. So the grass is growing very quick, and I got some time off where I'm not flying. There was no request for any medivacs. So I decided to just jump on and get some grass cutting done here. In addition to that, yeah, every now and then I start missing Jamaica. I get homesick, and whenever I get homesick, I torture myself even more by making something Jamaican. So for those who are Jamaicans, when you see coconut and sweet potatoes, you know what's coming, right? Yep, it's sweet potato pudding. So I just jumped in the kitchen because I'm not flying. My life is not crazy. I'm not out there constantly airlifting individuals. So I had a little time this week to jump in the kitchen, and my neighbors and the rest of the missionaries, they sure enjoyed the sweet potato pudding. The Filipinos have something like this, similar recipe. The concept is very much the same, but they call theirs bibinka. Ours is sweet potato pudding. And if you're like a real yardie, it's a sweet potato pudding. You know, you put a little patois in there and stuff. So flavored it with a little raisin. I didn't have my regular muscovado, so I put Basically, I added brown sugar to it. I'll never use granulated sugar because that's just not healthy. One batch actually made all of these together. So that was a huge blessing. And, to tease people a little bit more, I put a nice little Instagram post. I had a friend from Canada. She's Jamaican. She saw this post on my Facebook and she was like, I hate you right now. So I know the feeling. I know the feeling where you're overseas, you see something like this Jamaican. And personally, I think that this was my best sweet potato pudding that I've ever made. And my wife is Filipino. And every now and then she's like, when are you gonna make something Jamaican? And I'll tell her, I have to muster up all the courage because it's gonna take me back to Jamaica. I'm gonna be homesick, eating it, cooking it, etc. So, I have to do these things on a timely schedule. Anyways, enough cooking and cutting grass. Now it's time to get back to work. My first mission, I think this was Wednesday this week. My first mission was, this is mommy and daddy. They lost their first baby. I transported them episode 13. If you remember, the baby that was born with a hole in the heart. In the Philippines, they call it a blue baby. So as I got back to work, it started with a sad note. The baby died. And I think one of the reasons why the baby died was the hospital I transported the baby to. I don't think they were able to help much. And then they needed more finances to go to another facility. Um, they didn't have that money on time to transport the baby to another facility. So, anyways, the baby died. And I remember when I loaded it, it was just not the nicest scene because at one point, in order to fit the casket in the airplane, they had to open it. So I'm sitting there, I'm standing there looking at this baby inside. I see the casket open, and the mom cried a lot. And then someone told me that it was their first baby. So, our condolence to the family for their loss. And many times I just think to myself, how is flying this body and the parents any ray of hope? And the ray of hope is, it would cost a whole lot more money if they ask the other airlines to transport it. So with us, to transport it cost them way less. And that's the ray of hope, I think, that where you're already dealing with a medical bill. No, the baby has died, it's time to go home. You don't have the whole lot of money in the world. So with our ministry, we come to the rescue to help these individuals to be able to get home. After I transported them, basically I had this 10-year-old. She needs to get some medical help. That's mommy and daddy. And we have this stranded student that tagged along with that flight. And that was pretty much the same day. Some good news here for those who are Seventh-day Adventists who enjoy your nice windows in your church. Well, my cargo this week was to transport these windows for the church. There's construction going on. The church needs the windows. They are cheaper here. So someone sponsored the purchase, and it was my humble privilege to bring these windows so that it can be installed in the church. And I was telling my contact, Pastor Carlo, oh wow, nice. You guys have nice windows for your church. I've been to many churches, their windows are not this nice. And he said some member was the one who financially sponsored that. So our airplane is not just bringing dead patients and patients need to be transported, but we also help the Seventh Adventist churches with construction material. I've transported cement in the past, and now it's windows for the church. Um, Thursday this week, I had dead patient number 2. Basically, you can't see it, but behind this young lady, this is a stranded student trying to get out to go do some online classes, and be inside the airplane is body number 2. Basically, he had a stroke, and he died. It was like they said it's a cardiac arrest or a heart attack. And I remember I was asking her, "Are you afraid?" She said, "No, I'm not afraid." And she was actually excited. It was a good passenger to have because she got an opportunity to feel what it feels like to fly an airplane. So she was excited about that. And every now and then I get those passengers who they're optimistic about flying. They will, like, sometimes I'm checking the controls. I do full back twisting it to check it if it's free and correct. And when I pull it towards them, their natural instinct is to hold on to it. And I remember when she got in the airplane, she actually rested her feet on the pedal. And as a missionary pilot, you have to share that cockpit with patients and passengers. So I'm always double checking that their feet is not on the controls, it's not underneath it either. So as soon as she put her feet on the controls, I was immediately alert. I'm like, hey, 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 you know. So I said, you want to learn how to fly? She said, yes, yes. So I said, okay. So when in cruise, I showed her how to make little turns and bank the plane here and there. So that was a blessing. And it sort of just changed the atmosphere of the cockpit. You know, I have a dead patient behind me. Usually I'm alone sometimes or with a family relative that's so sad they don't want to talk. This student is not connected to the dead, so it just kind of gave a little breath of fresh air, so to speak, in the cockpit. However, when I landed to drop the body off, that little environment changed real quick. The relatives came, and it was a sad moment because they came to the airplane, and it obviously they have not seen their loved ones in a while. They came to the airplane and they weep. They were crying. I remember one lady just pulling on the body saying, I think anyong mangyari sa'yo. I don't remember exactly, but it's like you can tell from the cry that they were still in that point of I can't believe you're dead kind of thing. And we have the COVID lockdown. I made a whole post about this on my Facebook page. But what happened was the driver and the assistant of the ambulance, of the hearse that came, they did not want to touch the body because it's a senior person. So the fear of COVID makes them not want to touch. So I had to volunteer my hands and help the family member to pull the body out and to put it in. We needed more help. You know, the guy's not the smallest, lightest person. We needed more help. One of the police officer at the airport saw what was happening. He jumped in. So it was all hands on deck. And the family was very grateful. Oh, thank you, cop. Thank you, cop. So, you know, I'm really privileged to know that my responsibility as a missionary pilot is not just to fly the airplane, but it's to help these family members physically, to help them with the patient or the body to get in. Um, so I ended up staying overnight, and then the next day I transported. This is a pregnant lady, basically, and another patient that was in the hospital with a possible stroke needed to do a cranial examination. They need to scan the brain to see if it's actually a stroke that occurred. And I got an update from the doctor yesterday that they did the scan and the patient actually had a stroke. So it's two patient, two watchers here. This pregnant lady just showed up randomly out of they call it the barrio. It's where when my contact pastor man, when he goes in that area, he doesn't even have cell phone coverage. And according to him, it's a long 6 hour hike. So when they pour out of that area, I pretty much have to do everything I can to help them because if I cannot help them, it's a long journey to go back. So fortunately, I was able to, be of service to this lady. I was able to talk to the doctor on the phone, and she said the complication is pretty much intense in that we're looking at a possible CS, might be doing a cesarean section to get the baby out. So that was a blessing to be of help to them. I had this other patient basically yesterday. This patient had having kidney failures of some sort and some artery problems and heart problems, just a lot of complications. But again, this little air ambulance has come to the rescue in helping to save lives and to deliver hope. Number three, again, this week, as I said, the theme of this week was patients died this week. I didn't have much success stories for the patients. Many of them, by the time they schedule a request, the patient didn't even survive the night. This one was interesting. I noticed a number of police officers came to get the body, which somehow is indicating that it could be that he was a police officer before. So unfortunately, he died, and I was asked to transport the body back home. Now, the interesting thing with it was um, I was alone with this flight. And, I can tell that a lot of the people who, like, for example, this box is cargo for the Civil Aviation Authority office in Palanan. And the security guard was the one who was asked to put the box inside the airplane. And, this is the head of the deceased. And I can tell he's afraid because he's putting it in and he's like, and then his friend is teasing him. And I was thinking to myself, what if they were the pilot flying, And yes, I'll be honest, there are thoughts that go through your mind. Things like, what if you hear something shuffling behind you? What if you hear a voice behind you? And, as a Seventh-day Adventist Christian, what kept me composed for the whole flight? First thing, what I do is I don't put it where I can see it during flight. So if I have to check to my right to scan other traffic or look for whatever things outside looking out, I don't see the body. I put it directly behind me so it's out of sight because, things, the devil has a way of playing tricks on your minds, folks. But what helped me, though, is knowing the state of the dead. When you understand the state of the dead from the Bible, that when you die, your thoughts perish, your affection perish, the breath leaves the body, etc. Knowing that, for me, helped me to fly this person's body, not having any fear of any sort. Because I get a lot of people asking, oh, I don't know how you do it. They're like, I'm already afraid of flying. How much more flying someone that's dead? And anyways, God gave me the strength, and I was able to successfully take the person home. It was not easy getting him inside the airplane, but they were able to do it. And fortunately, our little ambulance, to get some things in, you have to remove the door, but the door is so designed that it's just 3 pins, two on the outside, one on the inside. So you just quickly remove those and then put it back. So it's not a big deal when it's time to get stuff like this inside the airplane. I took this little selfie video. It's actually a video. I posted it on my Facebook. So if you go over to my Facebook page, Flying by Faith, you can hear it. Every time I fly, the contacts will be the one to offer a word of prayer before we depart. This is Pastor Carlo, a Seventh-day Adventist minister. He's our contact there in a little place called Makunakon. And he was doing the prayer for us. After taking care of that mission, basically, yeah, that's a 10-year-old. I just have a duplicate. I have an amazing story this week. After I helped with the dead patient number 2, I had to spend the night because the airport was already closed and they're doing construction on it. So I was pretty much stranded, not for weather, but due to operation time limit at the airport. So I was pretty much stranded. Usually, I don't get paid as a missionary pilot. So when I get stranded, I am at the mercy of other people helping me to find a place to rest my head for the night. So I remember usually what I do is I will let my contact know, Mom Weng, she's a government official. I'll say, Mom, you need to be on standby. I'm going to have to do this mission at the expense of giving up my comfortable bed. So, be on standby. I'm going to need someone to pick me up from the airport, someone to drop me off, a place to rest my head, so on. So praise the Lord for her. She has been the one covering financially for my hotel fee whenever. And this is a hotel I cannot afford. It's the closest one to the airport. There are rooms there that's like $100 per night. And when you don't have a salary at the end of the month as a missionary pilot, when it comes to hotel, it's just not something you want to go to because it comes with a cost. So, anyways, after I finished the mission, I called her up and she called someone to come pick me up. Lo and behold, when the person came, he picked me up and he said, Cop, you remember me? I said, yeah, I remember you because, I take photos of the people I transport. He was actually my passenger before. He was on the stranded list of people needed to get back home. So I remember I flew him. He's also a pilot. He knows how to fly. And he was the former mayor of one area that we offer our service. So he picked me up and he took me to the hotel. And usually, because my contact doesn't have a whole lot of money, I usually get pretty much a standard room. It's usually like a double bed. You don't have much, amenities, etc. And I remember he spoke to the people in his language and he said, oh, by the way, the wife of the owner of the airport, that's his sister. I was like, whoa, small world. Not only that, he told them in their language to upgrade my room. So I got a room that was like $100 for the night. It was not a cheap room at all. And the staff, they were so friendly, they were so nice. And I was saying to myself, it's good to be on my best behavior and my good side all the time, in spite of the stress that comes with working with some of the contacts and some of the patient. It's a stressing job. I'll be honest with you. And to do it without a paycheck is not the easiest thing. It's just like you have to have a passion for this thing, or you will have a million reasons every day to get frustrated and quit and resign and go back home to some regular job, etc. So, anyways, that was a huge blessing for me this week, that not only did he upgrade the room, but he paid for it. It was on his paycheck. I mean, he covered for it financially. When it was time to leave, he picked me up again and he signed all the papers, taking care of my bill, and dropped me off at the airport. And we got a chance to chit chat a bit, etc. And he told me that he is coordinating these bodies that's been transported. He's a part of the coordination of that. This photo, basically, I ran out of masks. So embarrassingly, I had to wash my mask with soap and I used the dryer to dry it, because if I don't have a mask, I cannot leave that hotel. So I just took a photo of that wash. Nice clean mask. You're not supposed to wash it, but I had no choice. Whenever I'm on the ramp, I get to meet other pilots. This is my little buddy here. We were radio friends basically over in Palawan. He flies this Kodiak. No, he's over this side. So, whenever we hear each other on the radio, it's like, hey, morning, Cap. And I was like, hey, morning, Cap, where you headed today? We have those little conversation. So this is Nelson, my friend on Instagram and also on Facebook. So it's always a blessing. I was refueling when he started his engine, because the airplane he flies, it's the Kodiak. I'm like, man, I'd love to fly one of these birds. So, anyways, I was refueling my airplane when he started his engine, and I was like a kid, taking a photo of him taxiing, etc. So that's Nelson. Always a blessing. Just this morning, we saw 13 bikers. They just showed up at the hangar. And, we get people time to time. Sometimes we're busy. We don't have the time to accommodate them, give them tours. They often want to see the airplane, take photos, etc. And we've had people in the past where they come. You guys not going to believe what I'm looking at. I'm looking at a small snake on one of the ministry's vehicle outside. It's a really small, tiny little snake. Anyways, I'm glad I'm on this side. Yes, we do have snakes here at our air base. And when we move around, we have to be very careful we don't accidentally step on snakes. Okay. Anyway, that being said, so basically they showed up. They said that we heard about this air base and runway here in our province. We don't know where it is, but someone told us where, I go to this place called Batanes. And so they said it's here. So they came and they wanted to see it. And, I took pictures with them and entertained them. It was a nice Sabbath morning. So it was a blessing for them to come. And then something happened. The leader right here in the middle, he said, hey, before we go, can you offer a word of prayer for us? I was like, wow. I never saw that coming. So whatever they were told, basically, they know that we're Adventists, they know that we're missionary aviation, and so they gracefully asked me to offer a word of prayer for them and the team. One of the bikers, one of the members, he came, he said, I'm a pastor, and he's like, I preach the gospel, I share the gospel with individuals. So we were able to quickly connect with them on a religious platform. And I remember them saying, thank you for being so nice and accommodating. There are times when we're nice, but there are people, they come, they take photos, and we've had individuals breaking into our facility, stealing things. So we have to be very careful how we entertain individuals. Sometimes they come in without permission, they become an issue. We're landing and they have to get off the airplane. So we're very careful how we entertain people when they come. But if they come nicely and ask for favors and we're not busy, we will do our best to entertain them. Each week, I continue to encourage you to go. If you're a Facebook person, you can find my Facebook page, Flying by Faith. I share fresh stories. And if for any reason you can't see these live videos, you can go watch the pre-recorded version, the after the stuff. You can watch it there on my page. You can share your comments, you can share your photos, whatever. If you want to follow these, go over to Flying by Faith. It's a Facebook page, and you're more than welcome to join us there. This is our website. It has a list of things that we need. Basically, I'm not fundraising for anything current, but if you ever want to know what areas you can make a donation towards, this breaks it down for you in clear detail. So we have personal needs, we have aircraft needs, and we continue to tell you that without your help and your support, there's just no way these stories can become a reality at all. It's your prayers and your encouragement that continues to help us to do what we do each day, each month, each flight. So run over to By His Stripes Ministries 1844.com, and you can always find out all the different options of how you can financially support our ministry. Or maybe, with something happened this week, I think I have the screenshot here. No, I don't. Right. Okay, something happened this week where I shared, yes, right here. So I found a new group, a new Facebook group. It's called Adventist Living. I put together this, it's actually like 3 sentences in a nutshell, and the thing went viral. Within 2 days, it had approximately 2,100, 2.1, that's like 2,100 reactions, 191 shares, 360 comments. Now, when you're a beginner like me, you're a millennial, you're young, you have a story, you want it to be shared. I get forwarded message all the time, and it's so annoying. Honestly, I don't like forwarded messages because a lot of it is stuff I cannot relate to. But I'm trying to get my story out there. I want people to know how becoming a Seventh-day Adventist just gave my life this meaning. So I put together something real short. I put 2 photos in it, and people liked it. People responded. People were commenting. People were inspired. From this post, I had one lady message me. She said, my name is so-and-so. I am from Texas. I have seen your post, and I want to make a donation. Not only that, she says, I am from the Philippines. I'm living in Texas now, but I am from the Philippines. And it's a blessing to know what you're doing for my country. And she said, I don't have a lot of money, but I want to send you a donation. So not only that, I sent her the link. She sent a donation. Not only did she send a donation, she forwarded the link to other individuals. So I came home yesterday and my wife said, I don't know what happened, but you got a number of donation on the website. And I said, yeah, I remember one lady contacted me. I sent her the link. And then she said she's going to share the link. So I'm not going to mention your name. I don't do that. When it comes to donation, I always hide or cover the names of those who donate. I'll never mention name, but I will share the story. So you know yourself. If you're watching this, you know yourself. We just want to say thank you very much for your donation. When she was saying that she doesn't think it's a whole lot, it's just a small amount of money. I remember I told her that oftentimes I can use like $30 to help save someone's life. Yep, you've heard correct. $30 is what it takes to help save at least one patient's life right here in these coastal towns. Just 30 bucks. 30 bucks. I've lived in the States for a couple of years when I was a student on two occasions. And $30 is what the average person would throw on a meal, one meal in a restaurant. And that's like considered cheap, right? So a $30 meal is equivalent to saving someone's life. And you might say, okay, whose life can it save? Well, it can be a pregnant lady that needs an emergency C-section. It can be someone that has an injury from an accident, brain injury, whatever. It can be anybody. One patient, $30 can help to save a life. So when you contact me and you're thinking about giving a donation and you might say $100 is not enough, well, that $100 can save a whole lot of lives. If you go back to my link here, 244 US dollars gives 50 gallons of fuel, which is a drum. When it comes to one drum of fuel, that can save a whole lot of lives. All right. So I just want you guys to bear in mind that your little donation, it's small to you, but that little goes a far way when it comes to sharing the good news and helping people to deliver hope and to save lives. So this week, again, it was a sad week this week, multiple death experiences, transporting those bodies. And actually, I have an idea. I'm brainstorming it with you guys. What I was thinking was whenever we have to transport someone that died, I was telling it to my wife. I said, I think we should have like a condolence card, like make them ourselves, put our little name on it, etc., sign it, etc., and give it to the family, because I cannot speak the language to really talk. They're crying, they're emotional. But I was thinking, I want to put a nice little card together, have them pre-made and ready. So whenever I'm transporting someone that died, I can easily just give that to the family to say, we are here with you in our prayers. It's like just going a little bit more beyond the mere transporting them. When they have the funeral, they will put these things up. They put flowers, they put signs, they put pictures, etc. And maybe they can hang that thing to say, the Palmer's family send their little condolence card to us to let us know that they are with us in prayer as we are grieving the loss. So again, from the Philippines, without your support, without your prayers, we could not do what we do. I am excited for episode 15. 12 hours from now, I'm going to be up in the air. I have two patients already scheduled for tomorrow. I have frontliners trying to get to work, their health professionals trying to get to their location. So episode 15 is already on schedule. God has been keeping me alive out there each day, each flight. He continues to give me safety and protection, and he continues to impress hearts to be financially partnering with us. I can't say thank you enough. I know that God is going to bless you and your family for your support, your prayers, and your encouragement. So, on behalf of Philippines Adventist Medical Aviation Services, we thank you, we thank your family, we thank your friends. We are so grateful to God for you and your support and your prayers. And we look forward to sharing more inspiring stories of how we continue to use this small little airplane to deliver hope and help save lives. God bless. Mabuhay from the Philippines. Maraming salamat po sa inyo lahat, which means thank you very much, everyone. Talk soon. God bless from the Philippines.